Hello, friends. I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. Everything is really good, actually. This weekend, my youngest came over Friday night because I hadn't seen. My oldest was here. I hadn't seen him in a while, so my youngest asked to come over. Came over Friday night, hung out, played some video games, which was fun. And then Saturday, so Em and I had planned on doing some work in here on Saturday and in the rest of the basement on Saturday. So my kids' friend came over and they hung out all day, and me and Em hung out all day. And we got down here after lunch, right after lunch, and we spent couple of hours on that side of the wall, just going through stuff that I like to keep my things reduced. I like to purge stuff that I'm not using, just things. So I did a good bit of that and just general cleanup. It's like we've been buying totes whenever we go to the store. Not occasionally, we have bought totes to swap into. Like, I have old totes that are just disgusting. We've been putting stuff into these new cleaner totes and trying to organize. So we did a bunch of that, and then we came in here. And if you ask Em, so I told you, man, I'm all over the place today. I told you that the plan is in the future, I will do more work in here with Em present. The intention is to not necessarily to teach her woodworking, because maybe she's interested. I mean, she's definitely interested in the whys and hows. I don't know that she's actually interested in doing it, but she likes to learn about that sort of stuff. But she's going to be working with me more in here so that I can learn how to work with somebody in here with me, because I'm not good at it. So she came in. I had general cleanup stuff to do. I had some cardboard boxes that needed to be broken down, moved out of the way. I had some stuff that needed organized, put away. Part of the reason I asked her to come in here is because she's really good at that sort of stuff. And so she told me what she thought, which I'll tell you in a minute, a couple of things she thought about. And then she just kind of sat over there and watched. And I got to build a little shelf for my lawnmower batteries. They've been kind of floating. They're big. They're really big batteries, and they have a big charger. And they've just been kind of floating around horizontal surfaces. And so I wanted to put a shelf above where I keep my trickle charger for my motorcycle. So my motorcycle stays plugged in at all times on a trickle charger. So I have space on that wall for that. And I put a small shelf up over there to hold the lawnmower batteries, because they're not going outside in the freezing weather. They can stay in here. So I built that, hung that. She watched that. Then I had some couple of projects that are just off camera, right here. I'm not going to show them to you. That I needed to finish. They've been literally sitting here for 6 months. And in the not too distant future, I will show them to you and talk about it. So she watched me finish that. So, she watched me work and talk to me, and it was really helpful. And I know she felt like, we talked about it afterwards, that she didn't really help me. Like, she's like, I don't feel like I did anything. I was like, I feel like you did a lot. Like, one, you didn't allow me to get lost in myself. I had to stay focused on the fact that you're here, and I kind of some of the things I was doing, I just talked my way through them out loud, which I don't always do when nobody's around. I do talk to myself quite a bit when nobody's around, but I don't always talk about what I'm doing. And I found that just the act of talking about what I am doing really kind of helped me, I guess, not mess up. Like, it helped me stay in that moment, and I had much less mistakes. So she worked in here for a while, and then she went upstairs. And when I left that night, so I packed up down here probably like 6 so I could go make dinner. Um, I was in pain. My back was hurting. Like, just to be honest with you, I've been a sloth for the last 6 months. Like, since summer, I haven't done anything. I wake up, I go on the couch, I work, I lay on the couch, play video games, I go to bed, and I do that every day. I've been a sloth. I was doing exercises every morning for like 8 or 9 months. That stopped when I got sick around Thanksgiving time, and I hadn't done them for a month and a half. So I was positive I was going to wake up on Sunday feeling terrible. Woke up on Sunday feeling fine. Did my morning exercises, no problems. Been doing them all week, no problems. So that's good. But I'll tell you, so I want to tell you the one thing that Em said that I want your opinion on. This isn't necessarily because I think she's wrong. I'm just curious to know. She had a thought, and I had an exact opposite thought. And her thought was about these boxes up here. She thinks that this space above this cabinet. So if I'm working at this workbench, can I take you with me? If I'm over here working, right here, cabinets for me, they're just right there. Like, I can grab these boxes and get what's in them. Her organizational strategy for that stuff, she thinks that that stuff should be somewhere in a storage space down here in drawers instead of just kind of a mess up there. And that would be better used for things like my hand planes or smaller hand tools that I can just reach up and grab and use. And for me, it's the exact opposite. My drawers are for the things that I'm using, and that is just storage space. And I'm curious to know how you think about it. I have shelving on this other outside wall that's all storage space. And she's like, I don't know what's in any of that. And I'm like, well, it's all labeled. I write on all the boxes, something I learned from my dad. This box has this in it. This box has this in it. So that I can look up there. To me, and maybe it's like an influence from my father, those top areas, that is just storage. I don't put anything useful up there. To her, that's useful space where I could put tools off of a lower horizontal surface, but for me, they're completely accessible because I can just reach up there and grab it. And for whatever reason, I don't look at that space as that. That is the stuff that I very rarely use. That does not, I don't want it cluttering a drawer because to me, drawers are where I keep the things that I'm trying to keep clean or trying to keep organized. And so, when I build my new workbench, I'll have a drawer here for my chisels. I'll have a drawer here for my hand planes. I'll have, all the stuff that I want to use will be super accessible right there. Stuff like that I use once or twice a year can just stay up there. Curious to know which way you go on that. Like, where would you store less frequently used items? High shelf and a drawer. Her thought was in a drawer is where the less frequently used things go. I don't disagree either way. I just, for some reason, for me, I have my drawers labeled, so I know what's in it. I just go to the drawer, bam, there it is. It's got a place, it's got a home, it's not dusty. I'm not taking it out and breathing that in because it's just sitting out in the open air. Yeah. So it was a good weekend. It was a really good weekend. I feel like I got a lot accomplished. I also got a good bit of relaxation in. I did play some video games, hung out with the kids, that sort of stuff. And it's been a good start to the week. I feel good getting back on the exercise track. So, though I said it's not a New Year's resolution, I am actively trying to live a healthier, better life. And it's been going all right so far. How has your New Year's wish progressed this week, and did you have a good weekend? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is parsimonious. It is an adjective meaning to be conservative in spending and tight with a dollar. To agree to part with money or other resources only grudgingly and after much cajoling. Esmeralda can be surprisingly parsimonious considering that her family's fortune is among the greatest possessed by her social contacts. Parsimonious, Parsimonious. So this book, it seems like everybody's quote in this book, they all know how much money their social contacts have. I couldn't tell you diddly about any of my social contacts' financial situations.